So I just recently read a book called Cancer's Cause, Cancer's Cure. And I want to share with you what I learned from that book really quickly in this video. But this video is for anyone who is currently dealing with cancer, anyone who is worried that they're going to get it, anyone who wants to learn how to prevent it, anyone who has recently been diagnosed and wants to do conventional treatments, or anyone who's recently been diagnosed who wants to do natural treatments in place of conventional treatments. So this video is for anyone dealing with this, the scourge of our time, which is cancer. And so most of you guys know my mom was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma back in 1995, which is when I was 20 years old. And that's why I got into this field of natural health all the way back then. And I've been researching ever since, really since 2003. And so I wanted to share this book, Cancer's Cause, Cancer's Cure, or Cure, I guess. I don't know if I could say that. But anyway, that's the title of the book, right? So here, let me share with you the book here. And this is it by a guy by the name of Dr. Morton Walker. And he's written over 90 books on natural medicine and natural prevention of diseases. And so this book is based on the lifetime of research of French biochemist Dr. Mirko Beljanski, PhD. And it goes into Beljanski's theories as to why we get cancer, what causes it to continue to spread, and how to overcome it naturally. And the beauty of the treatments, the four botanicals that he talks about, is that you can use them in place of or alongside of traditional cancer treatments, much like you can ozone therapy, right? It works perfectly alongside of, although most doctors will have no idea what you're talking about if you bring up this guy, because most medical doctors have no idea about any research like this because everything is suppressed based on censorship. So anyway, this is the book that you really should read. It's called Cancer's Cause, Cancer's Cure, Morton Walker, and I just finished it, and it's really fascinating. And I want to share with you a little bit about what he talks about in this book. And basically, he talks about not the genetic mutations in as much as the destabilization of DNA based on the structure that gets altered and because of exposures to toxins and things like that, which alters the pH and then prevent, or it causes cells to replicate using incorrect genetic code. And he's identified four botanicals that he's isolated specific molecules in each one of those four botanicals to come up with this sort of treatment. And we had the opportunity of interviewing his daughter, Dr. Beljanski's daughter, a few years ago, Sylvia Beljanski, and I'll link up the interview that we did. She wrote a book called Winning the War on Cancer, which I'm going to read next because this is just fascinating me. So getting into Dr. Beljanski really quickly, I just want to share with you who he is and what he talks about. So here's Dr. Beljanski, and this is based on a lifetime of research. And he says here that all cancerous cells in all living species, plants or animals, exhibit a similar and characteristic destabilization of their DNA, triggering an unregulated gene expression and duplication, which is what I was mentioning before. He realized that if he could find compounds that selectively target their damaged DNA, he could block multiplication of abnormal cells and thus remove them from the body, which is what these botanicals do. Some of them have a very powerful impact on angiogenesis. And so this is just really interesting. So here are the herbs. There's four of them. Pao Pereira. And this is interesting too, the way they write this. Pao Pereira supports the body's natural defense system, creating the conditions for normal physiological processes and to some extent helping the body's own immune system and detoxification system to eliminate or neutralize undesirable cells. So this should have been written by a politician, because talk about saying a whole lot without making any claims. If you can read between the lines, you know what he's saying here. And the other one is Rauwolfia Vomitoria. The third one is golden leaf, not green leaf, golden leaf of Ginkgo biloba, which I believe is harvested from the coast of West Africa once a year. And so it says here, the golden leaf extract of Ginkgo biloba enhances the natural cell repair process and helps the tissues to remain healthy through its regulatory of normalizing effect on cellular enzymes. And the fourth one is RNA fragments. So this is really fascinating. This video isn't meant to be an exhaustive overview of everything and how it all works, but I just wanted to highlight the book, Cancer's Cause, Cancer's Cure for you, so that you can take a look and research this and start looking into the work of Dr. Mirko Beljanski. And I'll link up this book, Sylvia's interview I did with her, his daughter, and this webpage here that goes into each one of those botanicals where he's isolated the specific molecules to help with this process. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And this is part of an overall process of those of you that support me on Patreon. Thank you so much. So on Patreon, I release 3 protocols every single month. All my research and what I would do if my body was diagnosed with a particular condition. So I get into biohacking, I get into herbs, traditional Chinese medicine, light, water, and magnetism. I get into all kinds of stuff, spiritual, emotional triggers, energy medicine, frequency medicine, detoxification, all of it, everything you can do for any particular condition. And I'm releasing 3 of those every month, depending on which tier you join. So anyway, pass this video on to a friend. I'll put links down below to everything. That way you guys can be empowered. And the more you learn, the more empowered you become. And the more empowered you become, the less able you are to be coerced or manipulated through fear from a medical doctor. So I wanted to get that out to you guys. Thank you for watching. Please share this video with anyone you know dealing with cancer, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.